Hey everybody, I'm Alex McBlue, and today I'm going to be giving my death predictions as well as who I think survives for the season 5 of The Boys. So let's go ahead and get into it, starting off with some of the main characters. Then I'll try to get a bunch of the minor ones as well, what I think. So starting off with some of the main characters, I'm going to start off with the ones I think will survive. Well, a couple of them at least. Starting off with the cast of the Gen V series, I just don't think any of them will die if they're going to make a season 3. Granted, they still have not greenlit that from what I just read. It's up in the air whether or not they will. So I'm slightly banking on that they will. So if that's the case, I don't think any of them will die. And if they do, I think maybe just one, but I don't know who that would be. Next up, the character of all the main ones that I think is most likely to survive is Huey. Because not only is he the main character, he's the most likable, I feel like, probably of all of them. And he's one that I just think narratively that wouldn't make a lot of sense to kill him off at the end, in my opinion. And I also don't think anybody really wants to see that. So unless they do it just for the sake of doing the opposite of that for that reason. And then with Starlight, this one's interesting because with Starlight, I actually feel like it's closer to being 60-40 that she survives. Like, I definitely think she could die. But I'm still going to say I think she survives. But like I said, it's closer than some of those other ones, especially more than Huey anyways. All right, and then next up with one more character that I think will survive, then we'll get into some deaths and then mix it up a little bit. One more character that I think will survive, and I really hope will, is Kamiko, because I just really don't see it being useful to the story for her to die specifically. Some of the other boys I could definitely see dying, but I really don't think they'll kill her off because I think that would kind of just be devastating to the fan base, myself included. I really don't want her to. It just seems like it's kind of the way it's went for her. It doesn't really make sense to me to kill her off. All right, and then for some death predictions. So starting off with Firecracker, I don't really see any way she makes it out realistically. I think she's probably going to die because she's a pretty bad person, but also she doesn't really have any powers that's useful hardly. So I really don't see any way she makes it out of it, I don't think. For another death prediction, for one of the boys, this is a big one. I'm not sold on this, granted, but one that I kind of think is going to die in my prediction is MM, or Mother's Milk. I feel like of the boys, he seems like the one that might be most likely to die other than one I'll get to later. But but yeah, he just feels like the one that has been kind of a good moral character and stuff like that that's built up, but then he's kind of gotten damaged in a lot of ways psychologically over the seasons as well. But I don't know, I just feel like he might be the one that makes the most sense in a way to kill of all of the kind of more likable boys, I guess you'd say. I think Frenchie is 50-50. I truly do. I think he could go either way easily. But my prediction is that he dies. I think him and Mother's Milk might both die. I feel like if they have a couple of deaths in the boys, those two does feel like ones that could be killed off for a litany of reasons. But he could, like I said, him or Mother's Milk could survive. It wouldn't shock me. But I do think they both die. I kind of feel like that right now, to be honest with you. The most likely person to die of all of the main characters, in my opinion, is Butcher. Because not only has he gotten really, really evil the last few seasons, in my opinion, and I think objectively as well, and it keeps getting worse, I think he also has, was it cancer or something like that? I think it was cancer from the serum he took. So I think he's going to probably die anyways, but my prediction is one that I've also heard other people say. I think Huey will kill Butcher because I think Butcher will become the last villain like some other people thought as well. That's what it always feels like to me the last few seasons, and I think that will probably happen. So yeah, I think Butcher's definitely going to die. Now Homelander, going to the big main villain so far, kind of the series, and the main threat. I think Homelander will die, and I think he almost certainly will die. A lot of people think he won't and he'll get depowered, but I don't think that's a good ending for him. I really don't. I think it's better that if he dies, and I also just don't see any world realistically that if he lost his powers, that one of the people wouldn't kill him after that. One of those characters would definitely kill him. If he loses the powers, they wouldn't care, I don't think. I can't see that happening and them not killing him immediately. Somebody. Because, I mean, you should, definitely, obviously. All right, now moving on to some of the other ones. The Deep is an interesting one. He's super evil too. He's like a horrible, awful person, and just like a really reprehensible character. But I actually think of the. I do think he dies. I'm going to go ahead and say that. I do think he dies, and it might be in a funny way or something crazy like that. My prediction is that he dies. But if any of the really awful people does survive, or Soups, either way, I think if any of the awful ones does live, it will be him, and then something funny will happen. Like I don't know if they'll like arrest him and make him do something humiliating, or something like that. I can see something like that being possible. So he's a little bit up in the air, but I do think he dies. Is my prediction. I think that new character. I think his name is O Father. I'm gonna say he dies because I'm pretty sure he's a bad guy, and he just seems like somebody that would probably be killed off. Misha Collins' character, which I don't think they told the name for him or Jared Padalecki's characters, the ones from Supernatural, of course. But I'm going to say Misha Collins' character dies. I almost feel like he could be the character that gets blowed up all over Jared Padalecki in the trailer, but I could be wrong about that. But I think he dies, and I think Jared Padalecki's character probably dies, but his is a little bit more 50-50 for me. But I guess I'll say dies. Ashley, I think she definitely dies. A Train, I think he'll probably die. He's definitely one I don't see making it out. And then also with Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy is one of the ones I think is a small chance he could survive, but I think he'll probably die. And I think what might happen, and what I kind of hope happens, because it would be interesting with his character, is if he dies in some sort of like kind of heroic way, or at least anti-hero or anti-villain type of way, where he might take out one of the other, or help take out one of the bigger villains in the series. Because I do feel like he's definitely not as pure evil as a lot of the other ones so far. I could see something like that happening where he sort of sacrifices himself, or at least helps take out another bad guy. So I'm going to say he dies, but like I said, I'm not as sure about him as some of the other ones. Sister Sage dies, I think. I don't see why she would survive. She's pretty evil and concocted a lot of the evil plans, so I definitely think she'll be dead and should be. Black Noir 2, I think he'll die because he's pretty evil so far as well, and I also just don't really see why he would survive, so I'm going to say he goes out. Oh yeah, and Dognot, definitely he's going to die unless they're saving him for something else, because he's really, really messed up and also really evil, so unless they're saving him for another season of Gen V or something like that, then I think he definitely dies, if not. And with Ryan, I feel like he's one of the ones that's like 50-50 too. But I feel like he survives, even though I know it looks like it could be him getting killed in the trailer. I think it's more likely he gets beaten really bad in that scene, if anything. But I think he survives, and I think he either takes out or might help take out Homelander. I think Victoria Newman's daughter, I forget what her name is off the top of my head, but I think she'll survive. It's close though, because it could be a really messed up when they kill, because she's been through so much, and she's a really likable character so far too in Gen V as well. I think she'll survive, and I hope she does. She's one of the ones that is really likable more, and I don't know. I just feel like it'd make more sense if she survives to me. Stan Edgar could go either way. I'm just gonna very narrowly say that I think he dies because it could go either way, definitely. But yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna say that because I don't know if they're gonna use even further stuff in the future after that or not. So I'll go that way. Also, quickly, I think Queen Maeve lives, Love Sausage dies, and Cindy dies. I'm Alex Blue. Thanks for watching.